So it's been buzzing around, they've been talking about Anthony Joshua stepping aside. You saw the thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about. Is AJ stepping aside, man? Let me drink some of my Coca-Cola, man. Is the step aside happening, bruv? Is this fake news? Is this misdirection? Is Gareth A. Davis talking crap? What is going on in the heavyweight division? Listen, I've said it before, man. AJ needs to go in there and go and collect those belts, bruv. Mentality should be, listen, devastating fashion, big shots. You're getting knocked out in devastating fashion. That's it. That's it. Listen, all this semantics about, being a businessman. Listen, you're a boxer first. Like, this is boxing. This is not, I'm in the boardroom and I'm doing, they say Alan Sugar settings. This is boxing. So, therefore, if this was Deontay Wilder, let's put it this way, it's not even he would have blasted this conversation out of the water, in a short space of time. But for them to be even talking about 15 million, there has to have been something, whether an offer made, whether AJ knows about it, something's obviously been put on the table, for where this 15 million figure has come from. Unless people are just making up, stuff behind the scenes, just making up stories. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Anthony Joshua should even step aside? Personally, I don't think he should, because let's put it this way. If Anthony Joshua steps aside here, what's going to happen? Fury's going to go fight Usyk. They're going to rematch. We're talking now about 2023. Now, Fury might just go and retire. Who's to say Fury's going to stay around to hang around to go and fight Anthony Joshua? He might be like, listen, I beat Vladimir Klitschko, outboxed him in Dusseldorf. I went in there. I knocked out Deontay Wilder twice. I went in there. I beat Usyk back-to-back over 2 fights. I collected Klitschko's belts. I collected Wilder's belts. The belts you even had, that you only got them because they splintered off me when I wasn't even in the ring. I came back, collected everything, beat Usyk. What are you saying about that? So Fury might just retire off the back of that. Who's to say he might stick around to fight Anthony Joshua? Obviously everyone, likes a pound note, but Fury likes to say he doesn't seem to care about that. So if he's a man of his word, he might just retire. And who's going to question it? Because he went in there, beat Usyk probably twice if he was able to do it, and everyone would say he's better than AJ anyway. So this is the reason why AJ doesn't need to be doing all this, if it's true, talking rumors about stepping aside for 50 million. He makes more money than that in these fights anyway. So what difference does it make? Obviously some people say take 50 million for free, but if you think Tyson Fury is going to be hanging around to fight Anthony Joshua, if he's able to, win, beat Usyk convincingly, this guy might just go and retire, or maybe he might stay to fight AJ. Who knows, in a domestic clash? But there's a decent percentage chance, definitely 40% chance out of 100% that Fury could just retire after beating Usyk. He could just do it. And then AJ will still be fighting, and Fury will just be mouthing off from the sidelines. That's exactly what will happen, and we know this. So I don't know if there's any real credibility to these stories. Obviously, AJ came out and said, you have to hear from him before, really believe in any of this. But he never said it's not true, though. He didn't say, I'm fighting Usyk for definite. I'm fighting him in April. I'm definitely fighting in April. All these people talking about stepping aside, rubbish. He didn't say that. He just said, when he's basically saying that if any stories, if it doesn't come from him directly, then it's basically in effect nonsense. But he didn't necessarily say that he's not going to fight. He didn't necessarily say he's going to fight Usyk. Because remember when Deontay Wilder, people talking about Wilder's taking 20 million step aside money, he shut that down real quick. Guy was going arbitration, talking about, it's unfinished business. He said it's unfinished business. That was the mantra. There was no, I'm a businessman and all this, it's boxing. This is boxing, businessman. If you go in the ring, I'm a businessman. You get knocked out by some real gritty fighters, bruv. All these Usyk and all these Andy Ruiz, man, Deontay Wilder. Yeah, boxing's a business, but they don't go in walking around talking about I'm a businessman. Like you can't. This is boxing, bro. You have your mind has to be I'm a vicious fighter. That's how boxing's supposed to be, and it's as simple as that. As far as I'm concerned. So I don't think it's really in the betterment of the in terms of the timeline of which this heavyweight division can go. I don't think it makes as much sense, for Anthony Joshua to, be talking about, not let me not say talking about because he didn't say it himself, but if it's true to all this stuff about 50 million step aside money and all this kind of thing, I don't personally think it makes any sense. And to me, I don't see someone like Wilder. I don't even see Fury himself ever taking no step aside money. It's either I go in there, if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me see what you man are saying about this one. What do you guys think about this rumor about 50 million step aside money for Anthony Joshua to take? Is this something that Eddie Hearn's seen and someone's got a big mouth and is going around leaking to people about what's going on behind the scenes? Should AJ take it? What happens if he does take it? Does Fury beat Usyk, or does Fury get outboxed by Usyk, or what is going to happen? And if AJ does step aside, who's he going to fight in between? That's another question. I've already been telling people if AJ does step aside and it's a real credibility thing and he does do it and he tries to position himself to get for all the belts, I want to see him fight Deontay Wilder, man. Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. It's the biggest fight outside of the Undisputed fight, outside of the Fury fight for AJ as far as I'm concerned. But is Eddie Hearn and AJ ready to take that risk, of getting clipped on the chin and getting knocked spark out by Deontay Wilder? And we know Wilder's a prolific puncher with that right hand. The only time he's not been able to land the right hand is against Fury in the second fight. So if we're talking about probability and percentage-wise, is a very good chance that AJ gets caught by that right hand. Not to say that Wilder definitely knocks him out if they fight, because AJ's definitely got the ability to knock out Wilder as well, but is it a risk worth taking at this point and damaging the stock, when you're trying to build up to, take on Tyson Fury? Maybe AJ might just dip into fight Dillian White. But is Dillian White willing to fight AJ without a belt on the line? That's another question. But chess matches, smokes and mirrors, things are moving left, things are moving right, things are moving north, east, south, west. Don't really know what's going on in the heavyweight division. Let's get the big fights on. That's all I'm calling for. Drop your comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. Cool.